where they entered the water and were able to flip over the lawnmower off the victim, pulling the unidentified male adult victim out of the pond. JFRD was there on scene and pronounced this individual deceased. At this time, we're asking for anyone who lives in the area who possibly could have seen the incident to contact the sheriff's office, and or if they're coming home this evening and have video surveillance of the pond and the incident area, to reach out to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office as well.
I'm going to ask the obvious question. Is there any foul play or suspected here?
No, there's no foul play suspected at this time. Unfortunately, it is an accidental injury incident, and it cost somebody their life. Basically, the victim was driving a riding lawnmower around a pond, and there was soft ground, and the lawnmower flipped over, putting him under the water.
Is this a typical kind of injury? Is this something that is you've seen before?
I have actually not seen this. Is it typical? It is dangerous to be on a riding vehicle and or lawnmower around a pond. Obviously, the ground is very soft, causing items like that of heavy weight to flip over, be in a car or a vehicle.
There was a landscaping company parked right out here until a few moments ago. Was he working for that company?
He was working for that company actually is based out of South Carolina, so they subcontract. So the individual, who we have not been able to identify yet, we're trying to reach out to next of kin, does work for that company and a capacity as a landscaper.
Was there anyone working with him today?
There were two other individuals. They were all separated, working at different ends. It's a very large pond in the back, and it covers two sides between the neighborhood and back to a power line, and all three were working in separate areas.
But they weren't able to identify him?
They were able to give us a first name, but they're co-workers, and they weren't able to give us a full name, and plus we're working for next of kin to actually identify exact name.
Were they able to call, were they the ones who called 911?
He was one of the complainants, yes.
Do you have an age?
The victim is in the 40s.
40.
Any more description of him?
It's an adult white male in his 40s.
Is the homeowner saying anything, or was the homeowner home?
There was a female home, and she is one of the 911 callers. All she did was see the lawnmower out in the water, and she was one of the callers.
Is there any type of, advice that can be given for operating heavy machinery? Anything we can take from this?
It's just safety, and speaking with one of the company managers that works with the landscaping company, they do training. So I'm not sure exactly what, but obviously if you're around water, it's dangerous. So you got to use caution.
Now, I know you said she saw the mower out in the water. When we were able to get some video, it looked like it was about 3 feet out of the water. How far into the water did it go once it fell in?
There's actually two lawnmowers over there right now. One was from another coworker that came over to help, and the second one is actually still in the water. That was the one that they were able to push off the victim once they entered into the water.
Any idea how many feet into the pond that was?
It's a few feet into the water. The area itself is not extremely deep, but he was pinned underneath the machine.
Can you speak a little bit about, you said there was a retrieval, crews went into the water and flipped the mower?
That was actually the law enforcement officers that arrived on scene. By the time they got here, officers tried to flip over they did flip over the machine and was able to pull the victim out. Unfortunately, he had been underwater too long at that point. JFRD was there to pronounce him. Any other questions?
And do you know if it was the impact of that?
At this point, we're actually waiting for the medical examiner, investigator to show up to the scene. Right now, we have not looked at or touched the body of the victim.
Okay.
And we won't know that till after the autopsy.
How much longer do you expect to be here on scene?
With the delay in rain and units responding, it's probably going to be a little while.
And one last question for me. How does rain affect an investigation like this?
Obviously, it won't affect the investigation whatsoever. It does affect the grass and people that, that's another safety issue around the pond, is it gets very slippery, and, things, unfortunately, events occur. All right.